Welcome to the War Eagle Radio Network for Talons Out Live, presented by Rogers Hydrant Services. Coming to you live from West Carroll High School's War Eagle Team Night. Talons Out Live takes you in-depth and behind the scenes with West Carroll War Eagles head coach Clayton Morris, with stats, comments, and a breakdown of the previous game, plus a look ahead in the schedule. We'll sit down weekly with special guests and even a senior spotlight player. Now let's get this show started from the high school cafeteria stage. This is Talons Out Live. Welcome one and all to the War Eagle Radio Network, Talons Out Live, presented by Rogers Hydrant Service. Rogers Hydrant Service has hydrant flow testing, flushing and repairs, valve operation, hydrant painting, GPS mapping, backflow device testing and repair, water main repairs, and more. Call Tim Rogers or Joey Cherry at 662-3700 or visit them online at rogershydrantservice.com. They know H2O with 125 years of combined experience in the water treatment and distribution. I'm Jonathan Gowan alongside Adam Welch, and we are still waiting on our fearless Coach Morris, but for now we will talk to Mr. Dixon and also Mr. Taylor. So Adam, how are you tonight, sir?
Great. How are you?
Doing fine. We are outdoors, as people can see on the YouTube side tonight. So they've got a board meeting inside there, and we to our right over here we've got a softball game happening. So we got a few folks, and then if you'll look behind us, right over. Can I point correctly? Right over my shoulder there is a bonfire that's going to happen here in just a little bit. So we've got a lot of things happening here tonight. But for now, we've got to have a little conversation with a couple other guys. So first up, Mr. Dixon, how are you doing tonight, Coach Dixon?
I'm good. How are you?
We are good. Let's see if we can turn you up there just a little bit.
All right.
So we're still waiting on Coach Morris. He's got several duties and several hats that he's wearing tonight and making things happen. But so we'll kind of chit-chat with y'all just a little bit and get things going and look back at the last game at FACS. But we also got Mr. Colton Taylor. How are you tonight, sir?
Fantastic, sir. I'm just glad it's not blazing outside tonight.
You know, it's a little warm behind us, but, you know, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. So we may actually have to go with just the one camera tonight because I don't think these other cameras are working just right. You don't have one down there, Mr. Taylor. So he's like without one, but you're still on that one. So I guess first question is, where is our fearless leader? He ran amok.
He is having complication with the robot at the moment.
So him and the painting robot is having an argument.
They are arguing, and it's kind of in private, so that's good.
It's kind of in private, so we'll make sure that he gets that taken care of and stuff. We need to turn that down. Is that what you're saying? Okay, so it's a little bit better.
Can you turn my headset
down? Oh, can you turn your headset down? Oh, there you go. 10-4.
Thank
turn
you.
That back up. Gotcha. So usually Coach Morris likes it blaring, I think, sometimes. Yeah. And, you know, last year we was doing this, and we found out that it was, like, too loud, and he was always talking real quiet. And I'm like, why is Coach Morris talking quieter than everybody else? But I told Miss Ashley Hammond over here, she's watching the softball game. I said, if it gets too loud as far as the softball game goes with our speaker back here, to come let us know, and we'll turn it down and we'll get it taken care of. But guys, we had a good trip to FACS, and you know, it's one of those things where you didn't come away with the victory, but I still feel like in some aspects that it was a little bit of a mental or a moral victory, I guess. You know, holding a team that has had 2 blowouts in a row against their opponents and just holding them to 19 points. I mean, Dixon, talk about that just a little bit, and Taylor, you can chime in anytime as well. You know, talk about that, how that's kind of that, like I said, a little mental win to an extent. I mean, I know we're still unhappy that we can come away with actual win,
right.
But you know, only a 4-point deficit, 19-15. So it wasn't too bad of a showing, I didn't think.
No, our kid, man, we saw a lot of good things from our kids. We didn't come out with a victory there, but we really saw our kids get after and go to war, and that was just great to see. They really battled hard. FACS did a great job. They did some things we didn't expect them to do and kind of got after us early, and they kind of punched early, but we came right back and kept going kind of back and forth. And just a couple mistakes there at the end is really the only difference in that game, if I'm going to be honest with you. So I thought we battled for 4 quarters with those guys.
Talk about the mindset. I've got one quick. I'm
right, go ahead.
Just while we're on the offense.
Yeah.
The passing the ball with Zach Fowler. He was 14 attempts in the game for Zach. He had a good game. Talk about Zach's ability. 6 out of 10 in the air, 105 yards.
Right. Coach Bucket is our quarterbacks guy, and he's done a great job with Zach, and Dalen's getting some reps there, and he's done a great job with those guys. And Zach has really stepped up and done some things that, we thought he might do, but we thought it might take a little longer to develop. But he's done a great job of kind of stepping up in that role and so making some big plays happen. He completed 2 big touchdown passes this game that we love to see, and we love to see him keep progressing forward. There's things he's got to work on, and him and Coach Bucket get after it every day. So I'm excited to see where he'll be.
And you was talking about some of those little mistakes and stuff here and there. It seemed like, I guess at the first part of the game, it was like FACS kept getting penalty after penalty after penalty. And I was like, man, this may come out good in our favor as far as penalties and things like that. And, I think we kept our penalties down considerably, compared to some of the games that we've had in the past. But then like you said, you just got those couple little boo-boos that kind of went wrong in a couple places. And, Taylor, you can talk about that as well. There's just a couple little things here and there that was like, it kind of negated all of those bonuses that we got per their penalties.
I'll say, me being a special teams guy, the opening kickoff, that was one of our hiccups. We wanted not to kick the ball to their best athlete.
Yeah, that's what we were saying on there. We knew that.
But the way that they lined up there are 2 guys in the back.
Talk about it.
They kind of stacked, and when the ball was kicked, one tracked it, and he caught it and took it to the house. But our game plan was to keep it away from him.
Sure.
Manuel tries his best. He kicks the ball well, but unfortunately the ball landed in his hands, and he just did what he did. He was an athlete, and he took it to the house. And then other than that, special teams-wise and the long botch snap over punter's head, we didn't play bad.
Well, and either one of you can answer this. It seemed like to me it was just a tale of 2 halves. The first half, it seemed like it was FACS, as Jonathan's already mentioned, with a lot of penalties. It seemed like West Carroll had a few more penalties the second half. It felt like.
Well, and if you'll also look right here, nobody scored in the second half.
Right.
At all. I mean, every point that everybody got come from the first half. And
do y'all attribute that to, and that led to perfect what I was about to ask, do y'all attribute that to maybe coaches figuring each other out, or do you just cross that off as no, not really? I mean, the first half we were on a pace for this game to be very high scoring.
Right.
And then it just went to, I don't want to say nothing, but you know what I'm saying.
No, you're exactly right.
Yeah.
Like I said, halftime adjustments are big in this game, and I think we both had to earn absolutely anything we got. Like, nobody really had any just crazy big plays. It might have been a hiccup every now and then, but I know for sure we had to earn both of our scores. In the second half there, it was just hoping squirt free there because, like I said, it was just kind of punch after punch after punch, and it just seemed like neither one of us could really squirt free there to break the big play.
Well, and Taylor, when you talk about some of the special teams things, is there something that just really kind of stood out to you other than like that first deal, that just really scared you to death, I guess, for lack of better terms, anything that was just like, oh my God, like
the first opening kickoff and then the snap that we almost got the safety on. Other than that, I think we didn't play bad special teams wise or overall. Those 2 obviously were scary, but anytime the ball was in the air and one has a chance to catch it and run it, that's always a oh no moment there. Yeah. But I think Manuel did pretty good of keeping it away from him the rest of the game.
Well, and you talk about kind of the special teams. Something that I noticed the other night, probably at least 2 times, maybe 3 times, when they were kicking it back to us, it kind of got this weird, not only a weird bounce, but it didn't seem like that FACS was getting over it and kind of hovering it and protecting it. And all of a sudden it got this weird bounce. And it was like a magical thing. Our guys just grabbed the ball and took off running and gained. It was at least 2 times. I know we gained 15 or 20 yards out of that. And I'm like, wow.
One time of that was.
Did we practice that?
We do not practice that. One time was a freshman, Darian, the punt rolled down to the 2 or 3 yard line. Normally, you'd want our guys to get away from it, run to the sideline, yell Peter, everybody gets away from it. I don't know what went through his head.
But you like it.
I don't know why it happened. It happened, and I was okay with the final result.
Yeah.
During the play, no way. I never want him to do it again, but I was okay with the result at the end.
I mean, and now see, I'm the different kind of person. I'm sitting up there looking, I'm like, man, we need to do that some more, But it seemed like that FACS didn't really get around it like you see
Right.
a lot of teams.
Yeah.
So they left that gap, they left that space.
That's true.
And my opinion from the sideline, I was like, go get it, kid, But I understand what you're coming from.
I always think of the worst. Let's say he does go and tries to get it, and he misses.
Yeah.
And then that's a muff punt, and they have a chance to get it back at their 1 yard or at our 1 yard line. They got 2 or 3 yards to go score.
Yeah, because once he touches that live ball,
It's a lot of football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see. I didn't really, it's me on the sideline. I don't think about stuff like that, but both of them worked out really, really
Yes.
good. It was a shocker to see 2 in one night, and like I said, I've never seen it before, but it worked out really, really well.
And Preston had one also on the kickoff.
That was very unique. That was something different. So, all right, Adam, carry on. We got Coach Morris is hovering. He's got barbecue nachos or something over there, but he's hovering. He's getting here. So
Jade
Taylor's
Milton,
like, let's go, chop chop.
Jaden Milton, 24 carries for 86 yards. We talked about Zach. We talked about Dalen. Let's talk about your receiving core, though. Dalen with 3 catches for 24 yards. Drew Smith with 2 catches for 58 yards. And Nate 1 catch for 23 yards. Talk about them 3 names and how important they're going to be for you the entire season. If you continue this, what I call it's a weapon. I think you've got in all 3, and you've got a great weapon at quarterback as far as throwing the football.
Right. Man, we have a lot of guys that can be big for us, and I think that's going to benefit us more and more as we go throughout the year, because I don't know if you can key on one guy for us. I really don't. I'm looking here at the numbers with you. We have so many guys on there that's running the ball, that's catching the ball, the receivers. I have to give credit to those guys because, they have to work their butt off blocking for runs and stalking for runs, and then they get an opportunity to go and make a play, and those guys seem to always seize that opportunity. They don't ever seem to let it go. So those guys making huge catches. I can think of Drew's off the top of my head. I think it was 2 guys on him in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
He comes down with that football. Nate and Dalen for touchdown catches. I mean, I think there's some confidence being built there, and I think if we can keep that going, I think it's going to be nice for us to be able to run the ball and be able to step back and throw the ball a little bit. So I think it's going to help us in the long run if we can just keep those guys working hard and keep them healthy.
This question is for Coach Taylor. Talk about special teams and how hard it is it's early in the season. Coach Dolan spoke on Talons Out Live, I believe, a week or 2 ago about defense, about how hard it is to teach defense. People think special teams is easy, but talk about why it is not. And what are some of the things that
most kids think that after a score, play off. When you take those plays off, that could be the difference in winning and losing. Obviously, I wouldn't say it wasn't the reason, but it didn't help.
It didn't help matters, right?
It didn't. There's so many things that has to go right in special teams. Let's take a punt, for instance.
Okay.
We have to get the snap. The snap's got to get to the punter.
Yeah.
The punter's got to catch it. We have to block for the punt. We have to punt it decently down the field and then go cover it.
Look how many steps you just went through.
For a single punt.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes into it. And on kickoff, everybody's got to play their responsibility. No one can be selfish. We have to stay in lanes. We have to squeeze. We have to contain. We have to sprint down the field as a unit. If not, it opens up lanes. And obviously, athletes in space and athletes in lanes, we saw what happened. It's so many little things that goes into it that I don't think a lot of people realize. Most people think hey, let's line up and kick it down the field and go make a tackle. Yeah. The gist of it, yes, but that's not all that goes into it. There's so much more. It's so important to me. I take pride in it. I wouldn't say I was disappointed, but obviously we've got work to do. We've been working on it all week, and I don't know if I can live with myself if I allow another touchdown to be run back on the kickoffs, but we're trying to fix it.
Well, that's all you can do. We've talked a little bit about both, but this is for Coach Dixon. Offensively, I look at the total plays ran, and according to our stat sheet, West Carroll ran 59 plays. FACS 25. Talk about how important it is to keep your offense on the field gives your teams rest. Of course, I know we have several guys West Carroll does that goes both sides. I do realize that.
We do.
But the players that you don't have, how important it is to keep fresh when you're going to get some of these teams this year in this region that not really sure they've got the depth that West Carroll's going to have.
Right. Oh, man. Yeah, we ran a lot of plays. Like I told you, everything we got that night, we absolutely earned it. I thought they played solid defensively, and even those 2 to 3 yard runs, I mean, we just kind of would chip away, hit a big play, and that's going to be us. That's going to be West Carroll this year. It's just we're going to come out, we're going to hit you in the mouth, and we're going to kind of just keep punching, and hopefully in the fourth quarter you're wore down, and we can start to make bigger plays there. But yeah, we ran a lot of plays, and like I said, congrats to those guys. They played well defensively, and we earned everything we got. But I didn't think we played bad offensively. I just think we just couldn't capitalize.
All right, I tell you what, we're going to step away. We're going to take about a 1 minute break. I think he's about done with his barbecue nachos over there. So we're going to take about a 1 minute break, and we're going to get Coach Morris in here and chit-chat a little bit more about it. But I appreciate you two guys kind of chiming in. And if one of you wants to stick around with him, let's bring it on. You just stick right there. Y'all are both looking at each other like,
no, Roger, over and out.
Over and out. So, all right, well, thank you two guys,
Thanks.
Coach Taylor and Coach Dixon. And we're going to step away. We're going to take about a 1 minute message, and we'll come back in just a minute and have Coach Morris. He's about done with his food over there, so we'll get him on here and get his insights. So 1 minute message here. You're listening to Talons Out Live here on the War Eagle Radio Network.
You know good and well a party ain't a party unless giant inflatable jumpers are involved. Hensley's Inflatable Rentals has you covered with an inflatable bounce house or a 15-foot tall inflatable slide. And better yet, they both can be used wet or dry, whatever your party calls for. Call Big Dave at 731-487-5995 for rental prices and booking. Or visit Hensley's Inflatable Rentals on Facebook to see the offerings and to add the extra fun of inflatables to your next event.
Rogers Hydrant Service Incorporated is a family-owned and operated company located in the heart of West Tennessee. Their business stands on hard work and hands-on customer service. Whether you need hydrant flow testing, flushing and repairs, valve operation, hydrant painting, GPS mapping, backflow device testing and repair, or water main repairs, they're the complete hydrant company to serve all of your hydrant needs. Call Tim Rogers or Joey Cherry at 731-662-3700. Rogers Hydrant Service Incorporated, they know H2O.
You get to me, you give me that smile, and I'm somewhere sunny at 75. You and me on the beach there. Yeah,
Welcome back live on the War Eagle Radio Network. Talons Out Live, presented by Rogers Hydrant Service. We are outdoors tonight. We are in front of the bonfire. You can see the pile back there. Going to be, what's that, about 7:30, I think, is when that kicks in, and they'll have the team out there, the cheerleaders. We may still be a little bit of Talons out, but maybe we'll get it wound down pretty quick so we can enjoy the bonfire as well. But when it gets dark, about a little after 7:30, you'll see some flaming stuff back there here just a little bit, and some of the festivities. Homecoming week, we play Perry County here at West Carroll tomorrow night. So, but Coach Morris, welcome in.
We're here.
We're glad you got the robot taken care of.
It just needed some more paint in it.
I was gonna say, did you kick his butt?
No, it was this time. It was thirsty, so it was this time to give it a little top off on paint and hit go, and now it's out there doing its thing. So
hey, it's making it happen while we are doing everything else, right?
That's right. That's exactly right.
That's good. You may have to tilt your camera back just a little bit, Coach Morris. I think you're taller than Taylor or something, or
Don't
either
let
he was
him
just
hear you say that.
slouched down there just a little bit.
Don't let him hear you say that.
And Coach Dolan, we got you here
How
as
y'all
well.
doing?
So we
Good. How
appreciate
are
you
you?
joining us, and you can chime in anytime. Now, Adam, I'll let you know that even if I know we talked a little bit to Coach Dixon and Coach Taylor, but if there's something else that you want to just, back up and reiterate and talk about again to Coach Morris, we can do that as well, because we want to get, head coach, get his insight and stuff. And Coach, I know you probably heard some of it on the speaker over here, but one thing that we was talking about, I feel like that it was kind of a mental victory on Friday night. You kind of held them to just 19 points. Yes, it was only a 4-point deficit. We didn't come away with the win, but I mean, I feel like it's maybe a little bit of a confidence booster in some areas. Would you agree or disagree?
Man, way to open it up with a tough question. I just it's probably not a popular opinion. If we would have played our best game that we could play that night and lost, maybe I would be able to say without a
Yeah.
doubt, yeah, mental victory. It just wasn't our night. But FACS did what they had to do to win, but we gave a lot of opportunities away, in my opinion. We didn't play clean. We didn't handle the adversity of the trip very well. Our attention to detail wasn't where it was needed to be to do what we said that we needed to do from the get-go, which was start fast. We could not wait around and start at halftime or second half or whenever. We had to get started fast, and boy, we didn't get started fast at all. That 97 yards back and on the opening kickoff, that's not a way you want to start on the road against a team that's averaging 64 points, 67 points a game, something like that.
Correct.
A game.
Yeah.
That's not how you want to start. So I'm just interested to see. I guess I'll be better able to answer that question after I see us play tomorrow night. How do we respond? And then we'll be able to say, yes, it was a confidence builder, or we learned from it, or be more like, okay, we're still kind of lethargic from that. So, the kids are disappointed. We were disappointed as coaches. Our expectations are high. We have high expectations this year, and I'd like to think that we've moved past the moral victory standpoint of what we're wanting to do. There is a time and place, don't get me wrong, but again, we didn't play anywhere near how good we can play, and so it's hard for me to say, mental victory there. I can't do it. Some may, Coach Dolan may say differently, but for me and my mindset and my philosophy, we didn't play very well. And there's a lot of reasons for that, and we can sit and point fingers, a lot and different things. And the fact of the matter is, they made more plays than we did, and we had more mistakes than they did, and they won. And so, again, see how it folds over into tomorrow night. I mean, that's going to be the telltale for us.
Right.
I know the game did not start out like you wanted. Obviously, none of us did. But talk about how you handled adversity once again. You started out again behind. And I thought the kids, it didn't seem to faze them, But we talked about how I felt like this was a tale of two halves. As far as the first half, it seemed like FACS had a lot of penalties. Seems like second half, West Carroll had a few more penalties. It was a strange game how you had nobody score a point the second half, yet I thought both teams, didn't move the ball at will, but both teams
Boy, that second half went by in a blink.
But moved the ball some. It just seemed like both teams made some key mistakes, as at bad times, and including FACS. So just talk about handling adversity again. And
the kids did not lay down. I will say that. They battled, and some battled for 4 quarters, and some battled for 2.5 quarters, and so you can sit and look, looking at film, and we did a lot of good things. It just didn't show up in the scoreboard.
Sure.
You look at the first downs, you look at the yardage, you look at all those things, and so we did some good things.
You ran the 59 total offensive plays.
So
compared to their 25.
And I'll say this about the 25 plays: I've been a defensive coordinator for 15 years, and I've never defended a game with the other team only had 25 snaps.
Yeah.
In my career, I thought about it all weekend. It's never happened. In the fact that they had one play, and it was a busted play. We wasn't where we're supposed to be, and they got over half their yards the entire night on one play.
That's what I was going to ask you. And then you're following it up perfect. I was about to ask you a question about Shields.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about
Really
defensively your strategy. You held him to 109 yards. I mean, what can you say? You take away the special teams plays we've talked about, and it's a whole different tune.
I look at it more of like he had 7 carries for about 34 yards, or 35,
absolutely.
and that one was there was a lot going on pre-snap before that play.
Yeah,
that people didn't get to see, and other things going on. And then it just he's a good player. He's a college football player. We talked to our coach before the game. He's got offers, and he's going to play on Saturdays. And we scrimmaged the people we did earlier in the season. In the preseason, to see guys like Allen from Gibson County and Shields
make
from
you better
because we knew kind of we don't just sit around all off season not looking at film and knowing what people's got. We do everything. There's a rhyme and a reason, and we knew these guys are going to be. And honestly speaking, he might be the best back we see this season.
Really,
he might be. I mean, I'm not.
So
I mean, depending on how how it goes, but from what we've seen on film, he's good, and that that's what Coach was saying. Like, there were some really good things, like how we ran to him and tackled him when we had to. But there was also moments where, and we haven't even come close on either side of all three phases of playing our best. And when we do, the expectations are going to match that. Our expectations of what our best are in line. We just haven't gotten there yet. And we also, in my opinion, we look like we were playing game 2 and they played game 3.
Mm-hmm.
I thought so too. Yeah.
From our stamina, our legs, and then also the execution part of it. And usually you make great jumps from game 1 to 2, but we had a week in between. And that kind of probably caused our growth and execution to be limited just a little bit.
And didn't help matters, obviously. We talked about a little bit with Coach Dixon, Coach Morris, about Zach Fowler and the passing arsenal. 6 out of 10, 105 yards. You take that, I think, every Friday night, looking at on a pace for over 1,000 yards passing. Talk about, though, what I noticed was the offensive line protection. Seemed like he had a lot of time to throw the football. Were you pleased with the receivers' routes? Talk a little bit about that, or not really.
I think Zach played well. Again, he's got to remember he's a freshman and,
Sure.
and he's playing at a different level, different speed, and teams are going to try to do what FACS did. I mean, why not? I mean, you got 2 defensive-minded guys sitting here. You load the box, you go 0
Sure.
if you got the skill guys, and see if the freshman QB can beat you. I mean, that's a great defensive game plan.
Run it or throw it.
That's exactly right. And so, I thought he played well. I thought he handled it well. I thought his decision making got better from against Gibson County to now, and I'm hoping that's the trend. But boy, and the guy sitting to your left will tell you, if there's a group on our team that gets as much heat in practice as far as expectations and doing things right and not doing it good enough, we got to do it again. It's our offensive line. And that's by design. It's not because there's not a good group. It's because that's where everything starts. And they did a lot of good things that I didn't realize until we started watching film. Now, is it clean? No, it's not clean. We're still about a half shuffle away, in my opinion, on some inside zone seals. You're going to get your butt where it needs to be. We're maybe 1/2 a set too far on certain pass pros, somebody coming up underneath. But, man, they gave them some time, and they loaded the box on them. And they had a lot of times we were outmanned in the box with our protections and our blocking, and things were still there. So, Coach Dolan coaches them. He does a great job with them. He's got them held to high expectations, so I'll let him build on that. But, yeah, I thought the offensive line is progressing in the right way as we're going from game 1 to game 2, and hopefully it rolls over into this week.
That's right. The O-line, I'm a defensive guy, but to be a good defensive coach, if you don't understand O-line play, then you're not going to be a very good defensive coach. That's how that works. And it's just interesting with our guys. We've done a lot of work in the scheme that we're doing on offense. I kind of kid and joke about it with our guys. We're probably the only team in the state of Tennessee that has these kind of tackles that are so light.
Yeah.
And it's by design. It's for a purpose and to do what we need to do schematically. But, man, they come to work, and we're going to continue to get better on the line. The FACS did a really good job. They showed us a lot of different fronts, things that we've never practiced one moment because schematically it makes no sense for them to be in that. And, one of those was a pass that Zach hit Dalen on a touchdown in Greenville, and we blocked it up the absolute best that we could in the circumstance and ended up in the touchdown. Last year, I don't think that would have happened like that.
Oh, yeah.
It was we're making progress.
Yeah,
and
right.
We got to continue that tomorrow night. Hopefully, it clicks. Sometimes with an O-lineman, it's almost like, I don't know, kind of sometimes with a pitcher. Thank you.
We have cookies that arrive. Miss Betty
It's
Jo
almost
Sullivan.
like a pitcher sometimes, Sometimes it just clicks. He finds the zone.
It is.
The curveball snaps, the slider
Yeah.
snaps, change it. The O-line, sometimes it snaps, and they start feeling comfortable. O-line's about being comfortable. Not one, but 5 together, comfortable. Like, they can finish.
Meshing.
Well, mesh, and then they also – everyone's eyes are seeing the same thing that they need to see in the communication. There's way more communicating that goes on at that level. Like,
Than people realize.
yeah, our
correct?
center,
Yeah.
the way our center tells everything. Like, our quarterback can't play until the center tells him what the box count is. It's by design. Like, quarterback has to know what he says because then his eyes go to center. It's a chain reaction, and if one's off, we're all off. So it just takes time. You know, we just put this stuff in March and April.
You know, I like little situations like what you just explained, because Coach Taylor just a few minutes ago, he explained kind of the kickoff side of the situation and all these little small integral things
Very
that go
small.
along with it.
Very
And
small.
it's unique for, I'm still learning everything. So it's unique for me to kind of understand, you know, some of that type
That's right.
of stuff. It's pretty neat.
It is. People think the game is a simple game if you want to make it simple, but boy, you got 22 humans on the field. That's more than any other sport for
That's
the most
true.
part.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different things. What makes it different than soccer is soccer, you look out there, there's 22 people out there. They all look the same. Well, we have mountains of humans and we have little bitty humans out there in football, and there's all kinds of different positions, and every position have to have coaches, and there's hundreds and thousands of plays and formations you can do, and fundamentally, like, there's so much that most people don't realize that our kids have to kind of account for sometimes, and you don't over try to do it. But like the other night, FACS like literally showed us some things that there would be no reason for us to ever practice,
To ever work. That's
because it doesn't make sense to do that.
Right.
And our guys got through it the best they could, and I thought we did some good things last year. It would have not went well, but we did some things. That's why I'm kind of happy about the progress, because we fixed some things from the Gibson County week. But there's also, you can tell we're still young in this. We're still messing up on things that maybe we did really well against Stewart County.
Yeah.
And you got to get to that point where everyone's comfortable with it, because you can't practice everything every day. You just don't have enough time.
Right.
And you're hoping that there's some muscle memory and it just clicks. And that time is
some instinct, right?
Instinct, muscle memory, all those things going
call it. Yeah.
Does it happen tomorrow night? Does it happen in October? I don't know.
You hope it
sooner.
happens tomorrow
Well,
night,
yes,
but
yes,
you
sir.
don't know that. Right.
Sooner the better. But that's why the preparation, like, you see what you see on film and you kind of prepare for that the best you can. But you got to have a base to where everyone knows, okay, no matter what they do, we can do this, and this is how this is going to look. And we're building to that together. And I'm hard on those guys for a reason, because nothing they ever will do up front is easy, ever. So that's why I've got to just be me and stay on them up there.
Yeah. Talk about defensively. Right, for FACS, he was 5 out of 10 in the air. He only had 33 yards passing.
Mm-hmm.
As far as throwing the ball, is that kind of what you expected? Is how much they was going to throw it?
That's way more. No, that's way more. They were throwing it 3 times a game.
Okay.
Well, first of all, they were beating people to death, and they wasn't out there very much. But the more, and we kind of talked about it, they started throwing some things they hadn't thrown, and it was like, what do you think, Coach? What do you want to do? I was like, Shields not getting it. That's fine with me. Throw it 100 times, because that's not their DNA. And they threw one out there, and a kid fumbled it, and they dropped a pass or two, and I was just thinking, I was like, every time they threw it, I was like, thank you. Because he's a good player. And and anytime he could get loose like he did on the first one on the kickoff return. But that kid's a good player at quarterback. He's a sophomore. We'll see him next year. Shields is gone. That's good. But I thought if the game plan was, he hadn't done much throwing it. He hadn't done much running it. And it had been Shields and the other kids they had. And there's a few things that happened in the first quarter made me feel good, because they got rocked a few times on how they ran some things that had went for big gains in the other 2 games, and we stuffed them. And, our kids kind of settled in after that, because I've been there. You give up a touchdown on the first play, you don't know how that's going to go the rest of the game. That old crap, moment, and that panic mode comes in.
Kind of like a momentum type thing.
Oh, it was huge momentum.
Yeah.
I mean,
we've seen that in sports in general, any sport.
100%. We have a great drive to go down there and respond very methodically. Everything we wanted to do. It was tough because we were outnumbered in the box, but that's a good thing. If they're going to load the box going forward, we have the Dalen Drazzles, we have the Nate Wyckoffs, we have the Drew Smiths, we have those kind of guys that can go catch touchdowns when they get one-on-one coverage. And this game is copy and paste what we saw last Friday. Somebody's going to turn on the film and be like, that's the answer. That's what we're doing against them.
Yeah.
Might be tomorrow night, but now we've kind of moved to that. Okay, we have a plan for that going forward too. And that's just the evolution of what we've got to do on offense. And being in that game I think it's going to pay dividends for us, because that's a pretty good team. I think they play Brewston tomorrow night. I'd be surprised if they don't take care of business tomorrow too. Sorry for any Brewston fans out there, but Shields is really good. And most of the teams we play, they would see him and they would struggle with him too. He's a good player.
Yeah.
I don't ever like. I've got one last thing.
Go ahead.
then
Yeah,
I'll be
we still got. If you
We
want to
good?
talk about some more,
I've got
yardage
one more
charts.
thing.
All right, carry on.
I don't ever like to compare teams in the past because I just don't think it's fair to do that.
Yeah.
But you talked about difference makers. Talk about this team. Either one of you can answer this question. The difference makers that you've got on this team and how you're hoping when you get all the difference makers together as one, what type of special ability and capability that this team has, as you talked about it, not necessarily the line, but I am talking about the line. I'm talking about everybody.
We got capabilities in every position group on both sides of the ball, even in special teams. I mean, I think I have an idea where he's going to go with this, but Manuel's got the capability to be an absolute difference in the game by them starting the ball, starting the possession on the 20 after a score.
We saw that against Gibson County.
Right. It's way different when we're defending at the midfield stripe instead of the 20. That's 3 less first downs we have to give up and defend. And that's called hidden yardage. And we look at that over the weekends. That's huge. It's a huge – and that's the thing. We've got those capabilities. And we've got them in younger guys. We've got them in older guys. And we've got them in every position group. It's just getting them all together at the same time, the same day. And everyone's, the conditioning, the execution all chiming in because – we've looked at it. We've seen the glimpses in the spring practice, summer practice, the weight room numbers. We've seen it. We've seen it in different just snippets and places. And when we get it all together, we've got enough in the arsenal to play against anybody in our schedule. And I don't shy away from saying that. I've told our kids that since November.
Yeah.
I don't care who it is. And I'm talking, to be honest with you, that's 15 minutes down the road. I mean that. We've got it in the arsenal. It's just consistency, and our consistency is inconsistent, so to speak, and we're working on it daily. We're trying every day. I figured that's where you were probably going to go with that.
Yeah, no, what you said there there at the end, I mean, it's no secret anymore, what the potential that we have with this group, that this team this year, and numbers may not be as where we wanted them to be or where they have been, but as far as those that can contribute and what they can do at any moment of the game, I mean, we have a lot of different weapons on every aspect of the game, but the problem has been consistently doing your job to the best of your abilities together all the time,
play after play,
and that is, in my opinion, in my short time being a head coach, and that's the hardest part of what it is we do as coaches. It's not schematics. It's not. It's with enough years and enough time, you get schematics, and like Coach Dolan tell you, you get weight room down, you get the nutrition down, all that stuff is habitual once you find something that works and fits where you're at.
Yeah.
But that getting a teenager to do something consistently to the best of their abilities, that's the challenge. And that's the challenge that we face with this group every day, and they're faced with it every day too. And the standard we have for them in practice, it's high, and it has to be. It has to be high. It has to be, hey, you're capable of more.
Yeah.
You're holding yourself back. You're cheating yourself right now. And we have those conversations with our kids because that's what they want. They respond to honesty and transparency. It may not be what the outside person wants to hear, but our kids want to know honestly where they stand. And we have seen their best and we have seen their worst. And one of the things we say at practice all the time, and I know parents have heard it at home, if you're waddling around at practice, you get called out on it because that's what you're going to do on Friday. You're going to waddle around. What we mean by waddle around is just giving that half amount of effort, that half amount of effort. And that is a difference between being a really good to great team or just an average to slightly below average team.
Yeah, I agree.
And we have the ability to be that really good to great team with some consistency and not complacency with our effort and what we do.
Well, and you look, we've talked about the different sports Coach Dolan brought up. You look at basketball, you've got to have 5 people meshing together. When you get to March Madness, we know the sleeper teams, you've got to have 5 people working together. Baseball, people can say they want the pitcher's huge, the catcher's huge, but it takes 9. Football, though, talk about the 11, and you've already talked about it some, but
takes away more than 11. We play in 95-degree and 100-degree weather. So those sports don't.
That's right.
And they're not with gear. And if you haven't ever played the game and haven't had to breathe in that, I can't explain it to the best of my. I can't. You can't breathe. It's just, why are they so tired? They must not condition enough. Yes, they do. It's just, it's not the lungs, it's your legs.
Yeah.
Our kids are still struggling about carrying on. And that's the thing. I've done this and told them, I said, the worst thing that's going to happen, we're going to look bad in the first couple of weeks because a lot of our guys have put on 15 to 35 pounds in the off season, and it's good weight, but your body takes time to learn how to carry it. And I learned that when I was young in the weight room as a coach. I was like, so hard. It's your body has a homeostasis that it takes a while to get used to that weight.
Well, this is a great example. Walking right in front of us right here, Jaden Milton. He easily put on 25, 30 pounds of good weight.
I could tell
but the other night he said, I'm tired. He said, it's not my lungs. He said, it's not my lungs. He said, my legs are just so tired. And this is from a kid that doesn't understand what we're talking about right now. And that's a testament. He's not winded. He can catch his breath. That's not it. It's his, their legs are still getting used to this sport. Damages and wears on your lower body more than a lot because of what you do. And so
your force trauma that you get hit in the game, and it's
the legs,
a series of car wrecks.
The legs are going to hurt and be fatigued regardless. But then when you throw on good weight, which is a good thing for us, it's an X factor for us. I mean, Jaden Milton's already been proof of that. The way he runs the football, how Nate blocks, how our linemen are able to pass pro. All that's weight and strength. That's what that is. But there is some getting used to how is your body handling that weight now, and can you play, because their mind's geared to play one speed only, which is fast. Well, now you've got 15 to 30 pounds on you, and it's a little bit different. And so missing that game, looking back, it hurt us more than I thought it was going to, because of that reason. You had one more game of the best way to get in football shape is to play football. Coach Dolan says it all the time, and that's 100% accurate. You can come condition and y'all, if I was to get y'all to go run right now, would you give me 100% effort? Probably not. No matter how much I yell at you. No, it's not reasonable to think that about the kids too, right? But you get them to go play.
We would need that fireman over there to come help.
but you get them to go play, and they play hard. Well, the more they play hard, the more better shape they get. So that game did hurt. But y'all talking about, the unit 11, and I heard y'all talk about it with Coach Taylor, how important it is. Nobody ever thinks about the long snapper. Nobody ever thinks about the long snapper and that job and how important it is until it's a bad snap and it ends up on the 1 yard line. Nobody thinks about the kickoff team.
No.
Nobody thinks about what 11 are on the field for the kickoff. No one looks out there and says, hey, who's running down the field right here? No one thinks about those things.
That's a great analogy.
But those are what lost us the game Friday. Yeah. And that's what hurt us.
And we're stressing it. Like, the first play of each defensive series the rest of the season is going to be kickoff.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not play one on defense. The first play of defense is going to be kickoff or punt. And that's the mindset.
Drug it out a little bit there, but I think it's important for everyone to understand. Everybody thinks about, well, who's running the ball, who's throwing the ball, who's catching the ball, who made that tackle, and that's important.
Right. Not saying it's not, but
the snap, the hold, the kick, the coverage, the fielding of the kick, all of those things, that's difference makers in close games. And that's, we ended up on the short end of it because of those things.
Yeah. All right. Tell you what, we're going to step away. We're going to take about a minute and a half break. Now, when we come back, we have got a contest winner to pick out. We've had a contest.
And we also have a senior spotlight tonight too, by the way.
Good. So, I was wondering that same question.
We do. So, he's here ready to rock and roll. So we got that as well.
Whenever we come back, I've got me I didn't have a West Carroll cup. I got a Vols cup though.
That's the next best thing.
That's the next best things. I got a Vols cup. All the names are in there. So we're going to get Coach Morris to draw that out in a minute. But first, we're going to say thank you to Miss Betty Jo Sullivan. She brought us some cookies, some chocolate chip cookies. So we appreciate that. And so we'll step away. We'll take about a 1 minute message. We'll come back and we'll make that drawing first thing and figure out who we've got as a winner. So back in a moment on Talons Out Live here on the War Eagle Radio Network.
If you're looking for the best in home generators, then look to K-Men Electric in Greenfield, Tennessee for your sales and installation of Generac home and standby generators. Free estimates, licensed and insured. Why sit in the dark during power outages? Life is better with power. K-Men Electric has the experience you need with over 1,000 generators installed. Give them a call today at 731-571-0667.
Would you like to take out the zombie population? Are you ready to wipe out things that walk among the dead? Then the Zombie Trail Paintball in Humboldt is the place for you. 1533 Mason Grove Road in Humboldt. You will board a trailer to travel a mile path through the woods, shooting targets and zombies. Plus they have a corn maze. For more information and to buy tickets, visit zombietrailpaintball.com or check them out on Facebook. Take out the zombies if you dare.
they stay there.
Welcome back live on the War Eagle Radio Network. Not only do we want to, hopefully we play that song tomorrow night at the end of the broadcast, but somebody is fixing to win right now. So we're going to draw out a name, and this was all the comments and the likes and the shares on our Facebook contest. I cut up all the names today. I put them in the box, and you can see it down there. So we're going to pass that down there to Coach Morris, and we're going to let you draw out a name. Now, what we're going to do is when you draw out that name, hopefully either that parent is somewhere around here at the softball game, or they're watching, or they're listening, and whoever it is that we draw out, we're going to need them to send us a message, a comment, or something, and let us know which active player that they want to give the other $100 to. So this is $100.
Oh, this is a big pull here. There's a lot of weight on this.
Yeah, this is $100 pull right here.
That's
okay. And then we've
look at them flocking.
Yeah, see, they're flocking. I told y'all, come on, y'all can come back here and come back here where the camera's at. Come on this side. So I told some of your players, I challenged them earlier. I said, listen, y'all need to come on, just join in. They're giving Dolan hugs.
This is the first time ever, by the way.
Yeah, all right, so can I
right,
do this now?
Go ahead and draw it out, and if you'll show your camera right there, show your camera when you pull it out. Show them the name. Who is it? Who is it?
Oh,
Cassie Vermillion. Is Cassie?
She is at the junior high football game.
She's at the junior high football game. We will. Okay, so we'll see if we can get
Cassie Vermillion.
Cassie Vermillion. Okay.
Sorry, guys, I don't think y'all gonna get that other $100.
We got a feeling we know who that $100 is going to go to.
Guys, how about that? No, Jackson.
Y'all need to go give them to Holly.
All right, so let me see that. Let me see that down here. So we got the Cassie Vermillion is our winner. So maybe somebody can send her a text message or something and let her know that
Joe's around here somewhere.
I'm sure. I got a feeling that's going to be her pick to give the
probably
the
so,
$100
but you never know.
to,
But yeah, Joe's around here somewhere. We'll
you
find
never know. She might pick somebody else.
That's right.
I mean,
she might go random. She might pick Coach Dixon. Who knows?
No, it's got an active player.
Well,
it's got to be a
depends
player.
on the day with him.
I played yesterday.
He played yesterday.
I had to practice yesterday almost. I felt like it.
That's too funny. So, all right, Adam, have we kind of covered some of the
Hey,
yardage,
there's Joe right
ones?
there. See, there he is.
So your mom has won the $100. So if you want to send her a text message and let her know, listen, wait a minute, we've got comments on here.
Here, Holly, I got you something.
Cassie's listening. Okay, so Cassie, she said Joe Vermillion gets the other 100.
Oh,
okay, so
look at him.
We had
Big
a feeling
smiles.
that was going to happen. So she
eat all those, Holly. Every
she's
one
watching.
of them.
So look
Attaboy.
here. I'm fixing to pull it right here.
Buy you
And
another,
I'm
buy
gonna
you
show-
another link there, Joe.
There you go. I'm going to show the camera right here. I got a $100 bill for Cassie and $100 for you, Joe. All right, so appreciate you. There you go. So congratulations to Cassie and Joe. They walked away with $100. Well, technically, Joe walked away with $200. So Cassie,
Yeah, but she'll get that
you're
100.
going to have
trust
to
me.
attack him
Miss-
for the
Miss
for the
Cassie will
100.
get that one.
Oh, she will.
There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, she said she was listening, so that's good. I'm
Nick's
glad.
already trying to get it from him.
That's funny. So, yeah, you put that in your pocket. Tuck that down there deep, so none of nobody else get
That's
that.
right.
So
That's right.
they're getting everything kind of rounded up back here behind us for the bonfire and stuff. So, Adam, you got any more that you want to talk about from the stats? You good on that?
That's it.
All right. So, players of the game. I know you don't really care for this particular segment, but and there's a lot of players around here. So, if the players want to come over here and y'all join around and see if you can. See if you can talk him into the player of the game.
I think
Look, he's like, "Come on, coach, please."
For me, just trying to think about again. This is tough for me because, and we talk about this every week, because of the high expectations I have for the kids, right?
Yeah.
And so for me, and I think it's something that I don't know if we talked about it or not. We've got an individual that's averaging 2 picks per game right now, or a pick per game right now with 2, and that's Preston Bosley.
Yeah.
Kind of a late addition and always had the potential, but he had an interception in the Gibson County game, and then came down with another big one there in the FACS game. I believe it was in the first half that he had an interception.
Yeah.
And so, that's massive for a secondary that struggled last year to cause turnovers. We got a corner right now that's got two interceptions in 2 games. So I'm going to go with that one. I'm going to go with Preston Bosley.
Good pick. 17 yards on special teams returns
so,
as well.
Again, he's one of those. There he is right there. He's one of those kind of quiet guys and
you have
everything
been
else.
picked for the player of the game for last week. You like that? the player of the game. You've been picked by Coach for the player of the game for last Friday. He said thank you.
So again,
He's modest.
Yeah, well, somebody that does something. Heads up! Here comes a softball.
Oh,
we got to tend with that
hey,
here. That's
look,
awesome.
All right, so here's the thing. Before this started, before Talons Out Live started, Adam was like, we got to be watching out for foul balls. So we get a thumbs up from Rick Coleman over here because I told him, I said, we need your help. We need your help. We're like, you need to be watching out, either catch it.
There's another one.
Or let
Four.
I told you.
Oh, that's golf.
Rick,
Sorry.
Rick, where are you at, Rick?
Look at him. Here he comes. He's happy too. He's like,
grinning. Stand back here, Rick.
Come on, man.
Yeah, so we have a softball game for the folks that's just turning. We have softball game to our right. But I had a little conversation with Rick. I'm like, dude, you got to protect us. At least be ready to catch it or something or protect this. So we look back and he's just grinning from ear to ear, like, oh, sorry, missed that one.
Yeah, no,
so,
it's
it's all good. Maybe it'll hit the ground time it gets
That's
here.
right.
All right, so any kind of injury report, anything that's
not anything
major?
Not anything major, not anything crazy. We're not as healthy as we were going into it, but I still like what we can do if we just come out and play. I do. I like where we can do where we could be. I thought we've had a few decent days of practice. It's not normal because of being homecoming week and then being out of school on Monday and Tuesday, so that's always some issue there. But all things considering, coming off a big loss in the eyes of most of us, I think we've had decent weeks of practice and we're decently healthy, and hopefully it pays off tomorrow night.
All right. So, we talked about. I think we talked to Taylor. Kind of a scary moment in time. So, like your zombie trail paintball, scary moment in time. Is there anything that really stands out to you? As far as that, we talked to him about like a special team type.
Oh no, for me, 100% right now,
Yeah.
it's kickoff.
Yeah, that's what he said.
It's kickoff, followed pretty close by punt. And just because momentum can swing so much in those two special team groups, as we saw, bad coverage results in a touchdown. Bad snap results in a touchdown, and they're little things, but gosh, that's 12 to 14 points right there.
Well, it's two touchdown swing
so
right there.
It's to me that's scary. I'm worried about the kickoff tomorrow night, and I'm worried about the part. Even though Nate's had some really good snaps this week, he's done a great job. He's focused in on it, and so I think he's going to fix it and correct it, and hopefully our kickoff coverage is better, and we start taking it seriously. But time will tell. He's turned off.
It's all good. It's all good. Defensively, y'all see tomorrow night, y'all are going to have an interesting job about who's got the ball and where is he at, because they'll get all 11 humans within the hash marks.
Oh, wonderful.
They're foot to foot. They're going to run it up in there every play almost. And, a nightmare scenario would be them getting 3 and 4 yards every carry. That's their best defense. Their best defense is their offense playing tremendously slow, so they don't have to defend a lot of snaps.
Right.
And they're playing to what they've got athletically in their team, and their offense is their best defense. And you'll see that tomorrow night. We've talked about it all week. We might only get 6 possessions the whole game on offense because they've had a couple this year where they've had the football the entire quarter. So that's kind of the thing. We have to be great on first down. We can't let them be in 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6. We need to be the 2nd and 9, 2nd and 10 or less, and then make them have to throw the football. And if that goes the way we want, then we'll be in great shape. But those 3 yards, 2 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards every play, so they can go for it on 4th and 1 and 2 and convert and go. That's their DNA. That's who they want to be.
And we was kind of talking about the scary moments in time, Coach Morris. And one of the things that I, as a fan, I loved it, but it was kind of scary for Coach Taylor, was those couple of kickoffs that FACS had that, they didn't really get hovered around the ball as good. And all of a sudden it takes a crazy bounce and our guys pick it up and gain, 10, 15, 20 yards.
Yeah.
Let's get your opinion of that.
Well, and we yell at the kids a lot in practice to field the ball, don't let it roll, field the ball. And so that comes a little bit natural sometimes. And I'm not necessarily too upset about that, but yeah, there's a little bit of a kind of, maybe a lump in your throat because that's not something you practice, and the blockers don't practice protecting that. And so it's kind of like a busted play almost. So yeah, it can be a scary moment, I guess. I don't view it as a scary moment because I view it as, hey, the ball's not continuing to bounce the other way. We've stopped it, and we're going to maintain some field position here. And so, it's not something we practice, but it is something we preach, catch the ball. catch the ball, catch the ball. You know, and there's nothing, especially on turf, there's nothing more demoralizing than for a 20-yard punt to end up bouncing and rolling another 30 yards, and now it's a you know, a 50 to 60-yard punt because of a roll. So, you know, our kids are buying into that, and I think that's a product of that.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Cassie said we're winning 20-14 starting the fourth.
Hey, that
high,
way,
so
junior high War Eagles.
All right. Well, let's talk about some things to fix. We're getting on down, and we're going to take a break here in just a minute, get our senior spotlight player in. But some of the practice topics, some of the things to fix going into this homecoming and against Perry County tomorrow night. So let's talk about that.
Practice faster has been kind of the motto of the week. I don't care, and I'll argue this with a lot of people. I don't care where you're at. How you practice is how you're going to play. Just because your body resorts to habits when you're in a battle, that's the body is trained to do that. It's ingrained in you. It's who you are, and so the habits that you form from Sunday to Thursday are the habits that you're going to rely on Friday when the adrenaline's running and you're getting tired, your legs are getting numb. So, trying to push our kids in practice, push our leaders in practice to push our kids in practice, and kind of step it up a little bit. You know, let's go a little bit harder. Let's practice a little faster, and I think we've done that this week. That's got to be fixed. You know, hopefully that gets us starting faster. Number two, we have done special teams just about every day in some shape, form, or fashion, and we have fine-tuned it. We have broken it down. We have filmed it. We have, you name it, I guarantee you, we have done it, and it's getting to the point now where there's no excuse for us to not be able to do a job on special teams. For us fixing offensively, it's just going to be taking what we're given and being okay with it and not panic, you know, sometimes with what we're trying to do. And, you know, for instance, against FACS, I don't know if we ever panicked, but they were giving us certain things, and we just weren't able to exploit them consistently, and then we kind of abandoned some of it, and so it's just being, you know, patient with what the defense is going to give you. There's an answer, and we have the weapons to answer it. It's just going to take time to figure it out and get it all squared away. And then defensively this week, it's just getting lined up and your eyes where they're supposed to be and wanting to make the play. They're going to have a lot of bodies around the ball, and there's not a good way to simulate it. There's not a good way to get a look at it. You can do it all you want to, but, you know, Coach Dolan and myself have told our defensive guys, like, hey, you got to play fast, and you got to be the one to want to make the play. That's going to be the key Friday, because they're going to pull, you know, they'll put 7 people to the point of attack and pull 2 more behind them, and that's just kind of how they're going to be. And it's hard to prepare for that. So you got to have a mindset of, I'm going to make this tackle. And if you got 11 people that'll do that, I think we're going to have a really good night. But those are things that you should be working on to fix every week, in my opinion. So hopefully we've just fine-tuned what we do and what we need to be doing, and it'll pay off Friday.
Yeah. All right, we're going to step away. We're going to take a 1-minute break. We'll come back with our senior spotlight player and try to get everything squared away and done before the bonfire that you see over our shoulder back there. So we'll step away. We'll take a 1-minute message. You're listening to Talons Out Live here on the War Eagle Radio Network.
You know good and well a party ain't a party unless giant inflatable jumpers are involved. Hensley's Inflatable Rentals has you covered with an inflatable bounce house or a 15-foot tall inflatable slide. And better yet, they both can be used wet or dry, whatever your party calls for. Call Big Dave at 731-487-5995 for rental prices and booking. Or visit Hensley's Inflatable Rentals on Facebook to see the offerings and to add the extra fun of inflatables to your next event. If you're looking for the best in home generators, then look to K-Men Electric in Greenfield, Tennessee for your sales and installation of Generac home and standby generators. Free estimates, licensed and insured. Why sit in the dark during power outages? Life is better with power! K-Men Electric has the experience you need with over 1,000 generators installed. Give them a call today at 731-571-0667.
Welcome back live on the War Eagle Radio Network. Talons Out Live, presented by Rogers Hydrant Service here in front of the bonfire fixing to happen. We've got a softball game to our right, and the bonfire fixing to happen for all the homecoming festivities. And joining us is our senior spotlight player, Mr. Drew Smith. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing good. How about y'all?
We're doing good. It's getting a little chilly, so that bonfire is going to feel good here in just a little bit. Get everything squared away. So we've got we got the band, we got the football team, we got the cheerleaders. Everybody's going to come out here and have a really fun time here in just a little bit. So, but Drew, let's talk about it a little bit. And Adam's probably got a couple of testing tough questions for you. But one of the things that I always kind of try to ask the senior spotlights players is, coming into this ball game, and especially 3 years ago, coming in with Coach Morris, a new coach, what do you feel like personally that he's done for you, and kind of maybe pushed you in a certain direction, or helped you along? What's some of the things that Coach Morris has really kind of done, specifically for you and the way you play football and your daily life, I guess?
Well, he just pushes me every day in practice, and he's always had my back, and I know he's gonna make sure that I'm ready for Friday. So
get you pointed in that right direction. And Coach Morris, I guess kind of a similar question back to you. I always try to ask this: what is your thing for Drew Smith? What has he done?
One of the things that, and I tell Drew this a lot now that over the last 3 years being around him, he was one of the first ones that I realized and recognized my first few days on the job here, because of his work ethic in the weight room and how hard he was working, out there with Coach Black, who's not with us anymore. Wish we could have kept him, but Drew was working really hard, and I didn't know anything about Drew outside of just what I was seeing, and I was seeing a hard-working, looked a little athletic, and turns out he is athletic, but it's hard to tell that in a weight room. First thing I realized was work ethic, and so that's something that I have challenged him to not only match every week, but go higher, because that's what Drew is at his core, and I think that's a value that his family has instilled in him, is be a hard worker. And he does that. He does that not just at football. He does it in his personal life and his family life. And so, the standards I have for him are high. I have very, very, very high standards for him, and he knows that, and he's risen to those, and he's met those, and he's done a great job communicating. But his work ethic in what he does is going to carry him far with his career and his business that he's more than likely going to do. And he's just one of those kids that you're going to look back in 10 years and I'm going to be like, man, I saw that coming.
Right.
I saw that coming from him. And that's my expectation. And anything less than that from him, he'll hear it from me.
Right.
I'll let him know. But
He
he can achieve what he wants to achieve if he'll go work. And I know that's what he'll do. He's going to work.
Yeah. And Drew, being a senior, and you've been around this team now going on 4 years, and probably even beyond that. What do you feel like is some of your best and your top leadership roles? What do you try to kind of help push along the other guys and point them in the right direction in some areas? What's some of those areas that you feel like your best leadership role has come into play?
just kind of setting the standard, just giving them something to look up to and showing them how you should be and stuff like that. So,
and I'm sure that goes on and off the field.
oh yeah, yes sir.
And so in the locker room, what is your kind of main responsibility and main goal in the locker room? I know we always have that class clown or whatever that kind of keeps things going. So, what is your role inside the locker room, as far as that motivation to the others?
Well, I don't know if it's really my role, but I just like to get everyone hyped up for the game and stuff, kind of get everyone's energy up, ready
Get them
to
feeling
play.
good.
Yeah.
Get them feeling good. Adam, what you got? You said
One
you had-
question.
Okay.
That's all I got for him.
Yes,
Is
sir.
future plans.
So,
If you don't know, that's okay too.
No, I do. So I graduate in December, and then I'm gonna go and work with my dad. He owns a security business, so I just want to go and go in with him on that.
Good luck.
Appreciate it.
And we talked about that. I guess it was at the football banquet last year that y'all let me have a little say in some things and talk about some stuff. And I kind of gave a short story from that long one. I kind of gave a little story about. A lot of people always say, "Well, where are you going to college? What are you going to do?" It's not always about that. It's about what makes you as a human being happy and what's going to
Yes,
make
sir.
you, like you said, even if you want to get out there and directly start out in the workforce, that's okay. You don't have to go to school. You don't have to, get all this higher degree and everything.
Most
So,
definitely.
and I'm sure that you have already, worked with your dad and some on that stuff. and so you're already trained, you're already in depth, and you already know that stuff. So I mean, it's probably he's probably going to gain not only a very successful employee. I mean, he's going to gain, I guess, kind of a
Most definitely.
partnership in the situation.
Yes,
So-
sir.
And that's again, that's another testament to Drew and his work ethic that, obviously his dad and his mom has instilled in him, and he's balanced it all. He was challenged this year to balance it, being a senior and being here. His dad schedules big jobs around when Drew can be there, because Drew is, obviously younger and can climb, and I would do the same thing. I
Right.
put Drew in the tight places and let him, and so
Send him up the attic.
Drew has it laid out in front of him.
Yeah.
And all he's going to have to do is work and work hard. And that's what he does. And that's just who he is. And at his core, he's going to be a hard worker. And I've got no doubts, and I know his family doesn't either, that he's going to do a great job at that. And I'm excited that he knows what he's going to do when this is done. And he's, decided to stay one more year with us, because I think there was a possibility that he could have, graduated even earlier than December. And so all this, he's growing up faster than a lot of seniors do right now.
Right,
And so his forever life is getting ready to start sooner than others. And I think he's ready for it. And I'm excited to watch him grow and just keep up with him and see how hard he works over the years.
And I guess one of the last things, and this will kind of be for you to him, Coach Morris. What is maybe like a one-liner as words of encouragement for Drew, getting out into the workforce, whether it's getting out of the workforce or whether it's the rest of this, senior season? What's you might give two of them, one for the football and one for
the
life.
thing I think about when I think of Drew and think about the conversations we've had over the years and things he's taught me and things hopefully I've taught him, is perception. The perception of your name and what you are is reality. And it doesn't matter what you do behind closed doors or what I'm telling you I'm going to do. It's what you do when those are looking and how you're conducting yourself. And with him going into a family business, and his dad has worked hard to set this up, and now Drew is there, that resonates with him, I think, as it does with me. It's going to be more perception on who is Drew Smith and the work that he does. And that is going to be his driving force for the rest of his life. So I hope that is something that he has picked up on from these last 3 years, because that's something that I have learned from him and trying to connect and relate to all these individuals that were already in high school sports when I got here. So I had to find ways to connect to them. And so I hope that's something that he takes away, because it's something I'm taking away from my relationship with him.
All right. Well, Drew, we appreciate you joining us, and good luck with the rest of, I guess, this semester, because since you're graduating early. But good luck with the rest of the football, rest of your schooling, and good luck going forward with your dad in that business and stuff. And there's some things that I'm doing now as a entrepreneur and a dad that I want to be able to pass on to my son. So I can kind of resonate with that a little bit. That's what your dad is kind of doing with you, and you'll be the leader of the job one of these days.
Yes, sir.
So, well, good luck to you. We appreciate you joining us.
Appreciate it. Thank
you
you all.
All right, so thanks to Drew Smith. We're not going to worry about taking a break. We're just going to jump right into it, because we got things to do. They got a bonfire, and we're going to let Mr. Smith go take care of that. So let's look ahead to tomorrow. Okay, Perry County comes into this tomorrow night, and they're going to be ready to rock and roll. They're going to be ready to hammer down.
There's no doubt.
So
There's no doubt.
Let's get a little look ahead tomorrow night.
You look at again how we played last week. You kind of go off the week prior, even though we want to move forward and how we coach and how we practice. But when you're preparing for another team, you look, what did they do the week prior? And if I'm looking at us and things that we did, I'm feeling pretty good if I'm Perry County. I'm kind of thinking to myself that, hey, we're going to be able to go in there, and they're going to be distracted because it's homecoming, and they didn't play well last week. And, they kind of sputtered a little bit offensively in spots, and special teams has been shaky for the 2 games now. And the things that Perry County is going to need to capitalize on early has not been our strong suits up to this point. So, Perry County's going to come in ready to play. Coach over there does a great job, and he's a good friend of mine. And I hate that we're in the same region now because you try to build relationships with coaches that are in other regions in 1A, and he was one of the ones I was able to build a relationship with as soon as I got this job. And
crazy how it works.
now we're in the same region, so we still talk quite a bit, and I wish the best for him. He's a good guy, and he's got his kids playing hard, and
just not tomorrow night, right?
Yeah, not tomorrow night. We'll talk before and then we'll talk after. But those 4 quarters in between. But no, he's a good guy. I have nothing but good things to say about him, and I don't see that changing tomorrow night. But yeah, I'm worried.
Are you concerned about the starting out behind the first 2 weeks and not scoring first?
I'm concerned. I'm concerned as a whole of where we're at right now. And I know it's still early in the season, especially with us missing a game. And I know that's what everybody says, and there's some merit to that. But again, when is the corner going to be turned? You can't have high expectations and then wait until week 5 or week 6 to turn those on. I mean, you either got it or you either got it or you don't.
This is a region game.
This matters. Right. They all matter. Right. I mean, I don't. They all matter. But this carries a lot of weight, and we can't afford to still be figuring ourselves out. It's time. We know what we are. We know who we are. We know how to play. We know the expectations, and we know what it's going to take. It's just time to go do it. And that's, if you sense a little frustration, there is a little frustration because I have the highest expectations for a group that is capable of that. I don't set unrealistic expectations. I set very realistically high expectations. And I expect them to go achieve it. And it's time to go achieve it. It's time to come out Friday from the start, how we start, and set the tone, and people say, hey, this is what they can do. Yeah. I've seen what they can do. I've witnessed it in a lot of different ways. These coaches have witnessed it in a lot of different ways. It's time to put it all together. Here's the crazy thing, and this is what I've told the kids all week long. Beat Gibson County by what, 20-something points, and we played basically a half, right? Basically a half. I don't know if we even played a quarter versus FACS, and we lost by 6. That's scary to me because we have yet to play a full or even a half of really good football that we can do. And we've won big and barely lost. Yeah. On the road, the longest road trip of the year.
Oh, yeah.
To me, there's where the merit is. Like you're playing bad football right now, and you should be 2-0. You're barely 1-1. Turn it on and let's see what happens. It's time. It's time to take the step out of your comfort zone. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. And I hope that's what we see Friday night. That's been the message this week, and we'll see if the buy-in's there.
No, I've only got one question for you. Okay. I'll be done. Passing, I saw where looking at some stats on Perry County, they're going to throw the ball some. It looks like from some of their stats. Does that concern you at all? One, because you haven't really seen what I'd say a passing arsenal at all.
No, because that's not what they want to do. Okay. They don't want to come. If they come out, I'm going to tell you right now, and he's not sitting here, but he'll agree. If they come out and they feel like they've got to throw the ball 4 out of 5 plays, we're in a good spot.
That's what you want.
We're in a good spot. Good. I like our chances. Not saying that they can't be successful, but they want to go double tight, loaded backfield, no splits at all, and they want to pull tackles and tight ends and fullbacks and run super Q power and super F power and super Q counter, and it's more of a single wing gun type thing, and so it's that's where they want to live, and they'll throw some play action off of it to keep you honest. But no, I not in the slightest. If they come out and if they feel like they have to be in that situation, we're in a good spot. If we can make them do that, we're 100%. We're in a good. They, in my opinion, and again, I might be proved wrong, and I've eaten these words before, but I don't think they're built to live and die on the throw and catching game. I don't think that's where they want to live.
Good. That's all I got.
All right. So you was talking about flipping the switch and turning it on and making it happen. So let me get your top 3 Cayman Electric powers to succeed.
Special teams. I feel like I say that every week, and I hope some week it's going to click. And it falls on my shoulders. It falls. I mean, head coaching the good and head coaching the bad, right? And so we put an emphasis on it this week. And there's a lot of people we kind of put it in there. Again, to the outside ears, it sounds cruel, but it's just the way it is. There's a lot of people that's got a notice on their employment letters as far as being on kickoff, and they're real close to getting fired. I don't want to fire a kid, but there has to be pride in the kickoff team. You've got to want to get down the field and make the play. You have to, and we have not had that yet. And so we're still trying to find out who those 11 are. Manuel's our kicker. Manuel's a weapon, but we've got to have 10 guys get down the field. So special teams, they have to be clean. They have to be clean. We have to execute. It's no longer secrets of what we do. Number 2, offensively, get lined up quick. Sometimes we struggle getting lined up fast. Not run a play fast, line up fast.
I see what you're saying.
Because if we line up fast, the defense has to line up even faster, and then we can see what we're given. But if we lollygag the line up, Perry County does a lot of moving in the box, which makes it hard on blocking schemes. But if we're able to line up, and if they're not getting set when we get set, then we just run the play while they're moving and we're in a good spot. But if we get lined up quick, hopefully they'll tip their hand a little earlier, and then we get the play call in. That's right. And then last but not least, defensively, want to make the play. Want to make the play. Just be the one to want to get in there and want to make the play. It's going to be a pile of bodies. It's going to be a lot of hats around the ball, and you've got to find your way through the trash, and you've got to be the one to make the tackle, and on the back end, be disciplined with your eyes.
All I can say is come out and support the kids tomorrow night. Hometown Grocery and Deli pregame show, 6:30.
Hey, it's first.
Stand by.
It's first home game of the year.
Yeah, because the Harding
because the Harding it needs to be rocking in this place. There ought to be cowbells galore, Jonathan. I know you're looking forward to that. You're looking forward to it. You heard it right here. Jonathan wants the cowbells ringing in his ears.
The only
for
thing,
the homecoming game. Yes, he does.
We want the cowbells, but here's the thing. The only objection I have to cowbells is when they ring them like this, and they're in the window right there. Ring them that way.
Well, you're on top. You got them up there, man. But no, I hope we have a good turnout. I think there's some alumni for basketball coming out. I think the basketball teams have thrown together an alumni night and try to get some of them back, and I'm excited for them to be out.
There's some tailgating going to happen
somewhere. There is. And so we're excited. Anytime you get alumni back on campus, it needs to happen more, in my opinion. Yeah. And when we have to do a good job of making that happen. But I'm excited about that because I've already heard there's some people coming that would not come to a football game for any other reason outside of what's going on. So that's exciting to me. You're going to get some new people here. And so I hope there's quite a bit of people here. I hope that quite a bit will come out, and we get to unveil the new maroon jerseys for the first time. We get to wear them. Kids are wearing them around the night. That'll be the first time that they'll be, seeing action. So there's a lot of firsts going on tomorrow night. So we're come on out. I think it's going to be a good night. I hope it's going to be a good night. It needs to be a good night. That's right.
All right, we're going to step away, take a quick 30-second break. We'll come back, wrap it all in a bow, and point everybody in the right direction. Back in a moment on the War Eagle Radio Network. Are you looking for the best knowledge about H2O? Call Rogers Hydrant Service Incorporated. At Rogers Hydrant Service, they focus on building strong relationships with each of their customers to ensure every experience is the best that it can be. With over 125 years of combined experience in water treatment and distribution, they can help you achieve the best results from your water distribution system. Call Rogers Hydrant Service. It's clean at 662. It's cold 7300.
Now that's what I call high-quality H2O.
Welcome back live on the War Eagle Radio Network. Talons Out Live, presented by Rogers Hydrant Service. We get the bonfire ready to go here. We're getting everybody gathered up, so we got to send it on. One quickie, 28-14, our West Carroll Junior High War Eagles.
Final score?
Yep, that's the final score.
Congratulations to them.
Yep,
came away with victory. Good little road trip going over there, Henderson South, and coming away with the win. And from my understanding, they're not 100% healthy right now either. So that's kudos to them and happy for them, and get back on the winning track after last week.
I like it. And I'm going to say again, thank you to Betty Jo for bringing us cookies. Thanks to Brittany Fowler to kind of organize this. She got with you, and y'all brought the canopy out here and kind of organized it.
I kind of like this.
This is pretty neat.
It's different. I like it. It's different.
And said they had a board meeting in there where we normally at. But I was hoping we was going to have the bonfire fired
up. I don't know why it's not cranked up yet. But
I think they're waiting. They may be waiting on us to get out of the way, and that way you can join the team over there and get everything started.
Oh, is that what it is?
Maybe that is.
Well, I think Private Lanham needs some work over there on the field. I got to go make sure he's still working.
You got to go make sure Private Lanham. That's too funny.
That's right.
Private Lanham over there, painting the lines.
That's right. That's
funny. Can he do it in the dark?
Oh, hopefully it's done over there.
Oh, it's on the main field?
It's on the main field.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought maybe it was out
there. That's where we're playing tomorrow night, Jonathan. I don't know if you know that or not.
I didn't know if you were talking about the practice field.
No, I'm not painting that for Friday night. I mean, it's that is what it is. But
so that's good.
It doesn't.
It can work in the dark and stuff.
Supposed to be.
It's supposed to be doing its thing.
I might walk over there and not be very happy. So it's a good thing we're wrapping this up. I don't know.
A little argument with it. So. All right, so Hometown Grocery and Deli pregame show at 6:30 tomorrow night, kickoff at 7 o'clock. right over here at War Eagle Stadium. Come out for the homecoming festivities. I think they're like, what, 6 o'clock, I think.
6 o'clock.
I think
I
the
believe
homecoming
5:45, 6
festivities,
o'clock,
5:46,
somewhere along in that
Come
line.
out for the homecoming festivities, stay for the ball game, root on these kids, and let's see if we can come away with a victory here at home tomorrow night. And that'll do it. So we'll talk to you tomorrow night at 6:30, and they're going to get the bonfire fired up here in just a minute. We're ready to make things happen. So
Appreciate y'all doing this, as always.
Hey,
thanks
thank
to you,
you.
Coach.
Yep. We'll
Appreciate
see
it.
y'all next week.
Yes, sir.
All righty. So that'll do it here. Talons Out Live, presented by Rogers Hydrant Service, right in front of team night here and the bonfire here on the War Eagle Radio Network. So on behalf of Coach Morris, all the other coaches, Drew Smith as well, Adam Welch, I'm Jonathan Gowan, and we'll talk to you tomorrow night from West Carroll High School on the War Eagle Radio Network. Tonight's broadcast on the War Eagle Radio Network is brought to you under exclusive radio rights granted by West Carroll High School to the Tennessee Internet Broadcasting Company, solely for the private non-commercial use of our listening audience. Any publication, reproduction, or the use of the descriptions and accounts of this event without the express written consent of the Tennessee Internet Broadcasting Company and West Carroll High School is prohibited.